What's up, Crim Heist? Welcome to another criminology educational video. And for today, we will be discussing law enforcement organization and administration. By the way, my name is Sean Francis San Diego, also known as the Professor. So before we jump into our discussion, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the Professor, and hit the notification bell for you to be updated for my next video upload. So for today, we will be discussing the qualification standards in the appointment of uniformed personnel to the BFP and BJMP. So when we say uniformed personnel, these are high-ranking officials. Second is appointment of uniformed personnel to the BFP and the BJMP. Third is qualification standards in the designation of uniformed personnel of the BFP and the BJMP to key positions. And attrition and promotion system for the uniformed personnel of the BFP and BJMP. So basically, we will be talking about qualifications, standards of uniformed personnel of both BFP and BJMP. So first would be the qualification standards in the appointment of uniformed personnel to the BFP and BJMP. So there are two laws that sanction this qualification. So the first law is Section 4 of Republic Act 9263. And then there is an amendatory law which is Section 1 of Republic Act 9592. So ngayon ipapakita natin yung similarities and dissimilarities ng dalawang batas. So as to the professionalization and upgrading of qualification standards in the appointment of the uniformed personnel of both BFP and BJMP. So, sa ngayon, itong similarities muna ipagkakapare-pareho. And then later on, ipapakita natin kung ano yung mga inamyendahang sections or parts of the law na inamyendahan ni Republic Act 9592. So first, of course, you should be a citizen of the Republic of the Philippines. You should be a person of a good moral character. Must have passed the psychiatric, psychological, drug, and physical test for the purpose of determining his or her physical and mental health. Must possess a baccalaureate degree from a recognized institution of learning, or ito yung kailangan 4-year course ka. Must possess the appropriate civil service eligibility. It may be you are a bar passer, board passer, or civil service eligibility such as yung civil service professional exam or any other eligibilities as sanctioned by civil service. Must not have been dishonorably discharged or dismissed for cause from previous employment. Must not have been convicted by final judgment of an offense or crime involving moral turpitude. Must be at least, ito ulit, yung sa height, which kailangan ikaw ay 1.62 sa sa lalaki and 1.57 sa babae, provided that a waiver for height and age requirements shall be automatically granted to applicants belonging to the cultural minorities. And must weigh not more than or less than 5 kilometers, standard weight corresponding to his/her height, age, and sex. So ito na yung difference or ano na yung pagkakaiba ng dalawang batas. So for the first law, that a new applicant must not less than 21 years old, more than 30 of age, except for these particular provisions, the above enumerated qualifications shall be continuing in character, and an absence of any of them at any given time shall be ground for separation or retirement from the service. As to the new law, ganun pa rin 21 nor 30 years of age, except for this particular provision, the above enumerated qualification shall be continuing in character, and an absence of any of them at any given time shall be ground for separation or retirement from the service. So, ito na yung pagkakaiba nila. So, dito kasi sa unang batas, provided that the uniformed personnel who are already in the service upon the effectivity of this act shall be given 5 years para ma-obtain yung minimum educational qualification and 1 year to satisfy the weight requirement. As to the Republic Act 9263, shall be given another 5 years to obtain the minimum educational qualification and appropriate civil service eligibility to be reckoned from the date of the effectivity of this act. So ito, another 5 years na naman. So provided therefore, furthermore, that the concerned BFP and BJMP members who have been rendered more than 15 years of the service at the time of the effectivity, hindi na nila kailangang mag-comply with the aforementioned educational and eligibility requirements. Likewise, those personnel who have acquired NAPOLCOM eligibility prior to the effectivity of the Republic Act shall be no longer required to obtain the appropriate civil service eligibility. So may exemption. If you are a BFP or BJMP members who already rendered 15 years from the service before maamyendahan or before maipasa si Republic Act 9263, hindi na nila kailangan require or hindi na nila kailangan kumuha o isatisfy yung educational and eligibility requirements. Provided finally that within the 5-year extension period stipulated, the issue of whether or not the BFP shall devolve to the local government units shall be revisited by the Congress, and as circumstances be immediately implemented. After the lapse of time period of the satisfaction of the specific requirement, the current uniformed personnel who will fail to satisfy any of the requirements enumerated under this section shall be separated from the service if they are below 50 years of age and have served in the government for less than 20 years, or automatically retired if they age 50 years old and above and already have the or already served the government for at least 20 years. Without prejudice in either case to the payment of benefits they may be entitled to under existing law. So, just in its simplest context, pag hindi nila na-satisfy yung educational and eligibility requirement provided by Republic Act 9263, if ikaw daw ay below 50 years old and below 20 years ang iyong service sa government, you will be automatically separated from the service. But if you are 50 years old and above and your service to the government is at least 20 years pataas, you will be automatically retired from your service. Take note that based on the BJMP website, the applicant must have a Civil Service Commission second level eligibility or Republic Act 1080 or PD 907 eligibility. Now let's go to the appointment of uniformed personnel of both BFP and BJMP. According to Section 5 of Republic Act 9263, which is the appointment of uniformed personnel of both BFP and BJMP, Fire Officer or Jail Officer 1 up to Senior Fire Officer or Jail Officer 4. So, ibig sabihin ito yung mga non-uniformed personnel shall be appointed by the respective regional direction for fire protection and regional director for jail management and penology for the regional office uniformed personnel or by the respective chief of the fire bureau or chief of the jail bureau if it is from the national headquarters. So, same rationale lang siya sa PNP. If you are from the regional office, ang mag-a-appoint sa'yo would be the regional director. Pag ikaw ay nasa national headquarters, the chief of the fire bureau or the jail bureau. If you are fire or jail inspector to fire jail superintendent, ang mag-a-appoint sa'yo is yung chief of the fire bureau or the chief of the jail bureau as recommended by the immediate supervisors and attested by the Civil Service Commission. If you are a senior superintendent, you should be appointed by the Secretary of the DILG upon the recommendation of the respective chief with the proper attestation of the Civil Service Commission. If you are from a fire or jail chief superintendent up to the director, you should be appointed by the president upon the recommendation of the secretary of the DILG and proper endorsement by the chairman of the Civil Service Commission. Now, let's go to the qualification standards in the designation of uniformed personnel of the BFP and the BJMP to key positions. Let's go first to the Bureau of Fire Protection. No person shall be appointed as uniformed personnel of the BFP unless he or she shall possess the minimum qualifications therein. For Municipal Fire Marshal, ito yung first key position, should have the rank of Senior Inspector who must have finished at least second year Bachelor of Laws or earned at least 12 units in the Master's Degree Program. in public administration, management, engineering, public safety, criminology, or other related discipline from recognized institution of learning, and must have satisfactory pass the necessary training of career courses for such position as may be established by the Fire Bureau. For City Fire Marshal, should have the rank of Chief of Senior Inspector who must have finished at least second year Bachelor's of Law or 24 units in the Master's Degree Program. For District Fire Marshal naman, Provincial Fire Marshal, Assistant Regional Director for Administration, Assistant Regional Director for Operations, and Regional Chief of Directorial Staff should have the rank of Superintendent who must have a graduate of Bachelor's of Law or a holder of Master's Degree. For District Fire Marshal for the National Capital Region, Regional Director for Fire Protection, and Director of the Directorate of the National Headquarters Office should have at least the rank of Senior Superintendent who must graduate of Bachelor's of Law or a holder of Master's Degree. For Deputy Chief for Administration and Deputy Chief for Operation and the Chief of Directorial Staff shall have the rank of Superintendent who must have a member of the Philippine Bar or a holder of Master's Degree. Chief of the Fire Bureau should have the rank of Director who must be rather a member of the Philippine Bar or a holder of a Master's Degree. Now let's go to the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology. No person shall be appointed as uniformed personnel of the BFP unless he or she possess the following minimum qualifications. For the municipal jail warden should have at least the rank of Chief Inspector, who shall have finished at least second year of Bachelor's of Law or earned at least 12 units in a Master's Degree program. In management, public administration, public safety, criminology, penology, sociology, national security administration, defense studies, or any other related disciplines from a recognized institution of learning and must have satisfactory pass the necessary training or career courses for such position as may be established by the Jail Bureau. Second is City Jail Warden. Should have the rank at least of Chief Inspector who must have finished at least second year of Bachelor's of Law or earned at least 24 units in a Master's Degree program, provided that in city jails with a population of 1,000 or more inmates, the City Jail Warden shall rank and qualification of a District Jail Warden. Now let's go to the District Jail Warden or a Provincial Jail Administrator, Assistant Regional Director for Administration, Operation, and Regional Chief of Directorial Staff. Should have the rank of Senior Superintendent who must be a graduate of Bachelor's of Law or holder of a Master's Degree. Regional Director for Jail Management and Penology and Director of the Directorate of the National Headquarters Office. Should have the rank of Senior Superintendent who must be a graduate of Bachelor's of Law or a holder of Master's Degree. Deputy Chief for Administration of the Jail Bureau, Deputy Chief for Operations, and Jail Bureau, and Chief of Directorial Staff should have the rank of Senior Superintendent and shall be a member of the Philippine Bar or holder of a Master's Degree. Chief of the Jail Bureau should have the rank of Director who must be a member of the Philippine Bar or holder of a Master's Degree. Now let's go to the attrition and promotion system for both uniformed personnel of the BFP and BJMP. The attrition system of the uniformed personnel is in accordance with Section 9 of Republic Act 9263. Attrition by demotion in position or rank. So, uniformed personnel who is relieved and assigned for the position lower than that is established for his or her grade in respective staffing pattern, who shall not be assigned to a position commensurate to his or her grade within 2 years after such demotion in position, shall be separated or retired from the service. So, for example, ikaw ay na-demote from your position or rank and you are in the floating status for 2 years. And if you exceeded 2 years at hindi ka pa rin nabalik sa position mo, or you are not assigned to a position commensurate to your grade or rank, therefore, you should be treated by demotion in position or rank. Next is attrition by non-promotion. If you are not promoted for at least 10 years, so ikaw ay maa-attrit for non-promotion. Next is attrition by other means. If any uniformed personnel, at least 5 years of accumulative active service, shall be separated from the service based on the following factors. Inefficiency based on poor performance during 2 successive semestral ratings. So, dalawang magkasunod na semestral ratings, you have a poor performance, you will be attrited. If inefficiency based on 3 years cumulative semestral rating period. So, hindi siya magkakasunod, pero halimbawa, um, you gain poor performance ng every other semestral rating, therefore you will be attrited. If you are physically or mentally incapacitated to perform your duty and function, and failure to complete the required career course or appropriate civil service eligibility for your position except for justifiable. Requirements for promotion. Any personnel shall not be eligible for promotion to a higher rank unless he or she has met the minimum qualification standards or the appropriate civil service eligibility set by the Civil Service Commission and has satisfactorily passed the required psychiatric, psychological, drug, and physical tests. Provided, however, that the concerned BFP and BJMP personnel who have obtained the NAPOLCOM eligibility prior to the effectivity of Republic Act 9263 shall be considered have complied with the appropriate civil service eligibility requirement. Any personnel of the BFP and BJMP who has exhibited acts of conspicuous courage and gallantry at risk of his or her life above the call of duty or selected as such in a nationwide search conducted by an accredited civic organization shall be promoted to the higher rank, provided that this shall be validated by both DILG and CSC or Civil Service Commission. So thank you very much for listening, and I hope that you learned a lot from this video discussion. If you love this video, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the professor, and hit the notification bell for you to be updated for my next video upload. Thank you very much.